Hey guys, so I'm just going to talk briefly about how to scale a service business. The reason why they're notoriously more difficult to scale than product businesses is because typically there are going to be a lot more humans involved in a service business than a product one. So scaling that up is just way more complex because you've more people involved in it. Having said that, over the last couple of years, I've managed to scale up my service business, which is web design, web development. And I think what I've used will apply to almost any service business, whether you're an accountancy firm, marketing, branding, whatever it might be. These three tips will probably work for you too. So the three tips would be to maintain a marketing strategy. Then the second tip would be to grow and develop a team and processes to handle the increased customer demand. And then tip three is to do great work. So if I go back to tip one of having a marketing strategy, I think this is important for a number of reasons. However, most service businesses don't actually have a marketing strategy whatsoever. Reasons for that could be that they're maybe too caught up in the day-to-day of actually operating their business, and they could also not believe in marketing itself or like the efficacy of their efforts. And that can often be the case too, where you do waste efforts on marketing for very little return. And the other reason could be that they're just happy with the way their business is. They get all of their new customers through referrals, so they don't see the point in actually branching that out a bit more. That's totally fine too. However, if you do want to scale up your service business a bit quicker than that, having a marketing strategy will really help. For me, it's a really simple one. I just blog every 2 weeks, one post every 2 weeks. And the beauty of that is not only does it bring in some new clients, but also it keeps you top of mind for your existing clients. And that's really important. It means that you get more recurring work from a smaller bunch of people. So it's easier to manage. And it works really well for them too, because they're happy with the results too. So then the second one being developing a team and processes to handle the increased demand from your marketing efforts. That is a really scary one, because essentially what happens is you go from running your own operation where you can trust yourself to hit deadlines, to do certain quality standards, and then you have to learn to entrust other people to do that on behalf of the business, on behalf of the reputation that you've earned. And initially I found this really scary, but over time you begin to realize that if you're doing all the parts of your business, you're most likely not going to be able to do any individual part as well as someone who's focused solely on that and who their sole passion is that. So say in my business, we've got someone who's doing all of the design, a separate person who does all of the development, someone doing all of the accounting. So yeah, I'm a big believer growing the team, having them all bought into the overall vision, but they can all focus on their own individual piece. And it frees you up then to focus more on the actual business itself and the processes that people should stick to. So that's a really important part, because if you increase the demand but don't actually grow a team to match it, you'll most likely just have a panic attack trying to keep up with things, and it won't be a pleasant experience essentially. And then number three, do great work. So you hear this in a lot of talks that doing great work will solve all of your service business's problems. And I'd say that is large part true. Great work will lead to more clients. It'll lead to you being satisfied and happy with your actual business. And the other important thing that it does is it fills you with confidence about your service. So when you're actually marketing or selling it to people, you know that you're going to be able to deliver on what you're saying, and really like make your clients or customers really happy from your service. So I think that's essential too. And you want to essentially get to the point where you feel like you're doing people a disservice by not telling them about your service, because it's so helpful to their business. So in conclusion, I think growing and scaling a company is challenging, and it's important to continually reflect on why you're actually scaling it. I think if you're scaling your company for extrinsic reasons, let's say that you want to impress people by being able to say that you've hired X amount of people during a year, or that you've hit X revenue numbers, and you're doing that to validate yourself in the eyes of others, you may end up feeling trapped and miserable in your scaled business, because a lot of responsibility comes with that too. However, if on the other end of things you're really enjoying operating your business, really enjoying the service that it provides, you love how your team is developing and growing, and you generally just feel energized by the whole thing, that's where you want to be at. And if you continually feel energized by all of those activities, I think you're on the right track scaling, and you should keep going, because that really keeps it interesting for you too. So those would be my thoughts, and would love to hear any thoughts that you guys might have too. Cool, thanks for listening.